Never has Nintendo had an opening to a Mario game like this. We are introduced to a new character in the Mario universe named Toadsworth, who is basically just a middle-aged Toad, and while I like his design, I can't help but wonder if all Toads' heads turn brown like that. Then that makes me wonder, are those their heads or are they hats? Not sure if Nintendo ever confirmed that or not. Plus, why is Mario's mouth moving? Why is the game giving us the illusion that our silent protagonist is actually trying to communicate with Toadsworth? Wait a second, I buy that Isle Delfino's a vacation paradise and it's the shape of a dolphin, but what are the other islands surrounded by it? There's a turtle, crab, jellyfish, goldfish, a manta ray, and others. Are they all vacation spots? If so, why so many? It's like Nintendo's version of Disney World. Also, what are they watching? A simulation of their plane flying to Delfino? Or is it being shot from a drone and they're watching the live feed? Casey Neistat can learn a thing or two from this game.
Welcome to the sun-drenched tropical paradise of Isle Delfino. We're so pleased to welcome you to our beautiful home.
Excuse me? What were those sounds that Pianto was making? I get that this is the first big Mario game with the characters having voice actors, but you're squealing with glee a bit too much. Okay, I get Shadow Mario being there in the Delfino introduction video is supposed to foreshadow, pun intended, what they can expect when they land, but I don't get the implication. Have they never made one of these videos for anyone who has visited the island? Or do they make a new one every time someone new comes to the island and Shadow Mario just happened to be there when they were filming the one for Peach?
Mario?
How did she pause the video by just saying Mario? Was it some sort of cinematic time slowing down for one character's point of view? Because if so, it didn't come out that way. We haven't even started playing the game and I have so many questions. Would a plane really stop in its tracks like that just because there's some goop on the runway? Again, we don't get to hear what they're saying, and the only reason it's weird is because we can still hear the background, like the waves and the seagulls. If it was just instrumental music in the background, then it would be fine. And there's our main antagonist. Weird how the first time we actually get to see him is through Peach's blurry vision. Speaking of which, is Peach okay? She might need glasses.
Excuse me, but... Huh?
Again, is Peach okay? There was no urgency. If you see a shadowy figure in the video you just watched, and then you spot them from a distance IRL, it's time to start acting scared and paranoid. So much for voice actors. I like that the goop actually stays on Mario. I also like that if he jumps into a body of water, it'll come off. Logic checks out. And then we are introduced to Flood, our companion for the rest of the game. It was created by Professor Elvin Gadd, who we first met in Luigi's Mansion. Now, I get that Flood can scan someone and identify who they are, but shouldn't Flood have done that with the person who actually bought Flood and brought it here? Which leads me to my next point. Who did bring Flood and left it here for Mario to find? The game will never answer these questions for us. I do enjoy the Easter eggs in the corner, but it just makes me want Flood to do that to other characters like Peach or Bowser, but unfortunately it only does it for Mario.
If this tank is empty, no water can be sprayed. To refill tank, enter a body of water and press the R button.
I'm sorry, what? Where does it refill from? Mario and Flood don't do anything to show a sign of refilling it. After studying how it switches nozzles, I've deduced that the game designers wanted it to happen in the blink of an eye, so that the gamers don't question the logic of it. Well, look where we are now. Funny how in every Mario game, if the player doesn't touch the controller in a while, Mario falls asleep, even if it's the middle of the day. Wait, does Mario have insomnia? If any of the NPCs find themselves standing in goop, they sink into the floor and can't get out until Mario cleans where they are. Pretty gruesome detail, guys. Speaking of scary, this piranha-like being lives in the heart of the goop. What? Living entities can be made from the goop. This is too much power for one kid to have. The goop can also make a big circle in the runway sink into the ground. Okay, game. Then we earn the first Shine Sprite of the game. Not a star, a Shine Sprite. This game goes so far out of its way to be different from Mario 64. From voice actors to make it an actual plot that they even had to make a slightly different collectible. There is no lighting on Mario whatsoever. I wouldn't have to point it out if not for the fact that literally everybody else on screen has lighting on them. Don't even try to say that the plane is blocking the sun because everybody's standing in front of that plane. If only we didn't make the game blurry so that the players can actually see what... Oh, there we go. This scene would always scare me as a kid, mostly because the background is black. This obviously takes place in a courthouse because Mario is being put on trial for putting graffiti all over the island, but why did they make the background black? It makes the scene scary and creepy in a young child's eyes.
As you are no doubt aware, someone has been senselessly defacing fair Isle Delfino using some paint-like substance. The accused is charged with polluting our beautiful home, and yes, endangering our very way of life. Indeed, how can one not be aware of what is going on? Though it is daytime in Delfino Plaza, our poor residents tremble beneath a veil of darkness.
Now see, that interests me solely because it doesn't really make any sense. Isle Delfino is veiled under darkness because of the goop, and the Shine Sprites are missing. Don't know how that affects the sun, but okay. Also, does that affect the neighboring islands? Do they have the sun? Actually, do they have their own Shine Sprites? Ugh, so many questions.
Expert Shine scholars have determined that this darkness has arisen because all of our guardians, the Shine Sprites, have vanished from their gathering spot at the Shine Gate.
The Shine Sprites are known as guardians? What? Are Power Stars guardians in the Mushroom Kingdom? Also, the goop on the Shine Gate makes it look like it has facial hair. Anyone else see it that way? You know, like a handlebar mustache on that? Yeah? No?
To blame. Behold the sketch of the perpetrator.
See, they wouldn't have to put a flashlight on the wanted poster if someone turned on a light.
It is obvious the guilty party sits among us. It is none other than Mario.
Objection!
Overruled. I judge the defendant guilty as charged. I hereby order the defendant to clean this entire island. Until Isle Delfino is completely free of his vile handiwork, Mario shall not be allowed to leave. Court adjourned.
I mean, you would actually need more evidence than that for conviction, but game will game, I suppose.
This appears to be quite a predicament, Mario. Data analysis verifies that the island's inhabitants are indeed troubled by pollution, but the pollution itself is not the main problem. Mario, you witnessed this object at the airstrip, correct?
This is where it becomes clear that the game developers didn't know what tone to go for. They obviously wanted to make it feel like a true Mario game with a colorful goop and the platform levels, but they also wanted to be edgy by putting in a social commentary on global warming and... Oh yeah, Mario is sitting in a jail cell right now. And yes, this sequence would give me nightmares in my youth because of the sad piano music and the black backgrounds.
Go straight that way. You can't miss the mess, pal. Your first job's to get rid of all that ugliness. And remember, we'll be watching you, pal. We'll know if you start slacking off.
And yet, the Pianta police won't actually do anything, even if we let Mario sleep right in front of them. As I said before, the goop creates living entities, but it's not just those piranha plants. No. They also create these little blobs with eyes, which I'm being told are called... Swoop and Stew? Huh? I'm very happy they were never in any other game.
Princess, look! On the statue's head!
Mario?
So, you're telling me that Shadow Mario created the big pile of goop, submerged himself into it right on top of the statue so that when Mario beat the goop piranha, he could reveal himself and catch Peach off guard so he can kidnap her? I don't think he's that cunning. I imagine that's just how Toadsworth and the other Toads react when Bowser shows up and kidnaps Peach. When in doubt, dance around like you have to piss. It's gonna be revealed who Shadow Mario is soon enough, however, that is not gonna excuse how hypocritical he is being. Shadow Mario uses his magic paintbrush to create a portal to Bianco Hills, the first world we visit here on Isle Delfino. But the real question is, how do Piantas get to Bianco Hills normally? Because this is the only way we get there in the game. As you can see, it's clear as day out here in Bianco Hills. Why has it not plummeted into darkness like Delfino Plaza has? I get that there are shine sprites hidden here, but there are way more hiding all around Delfino Plaza. I get that you chase Shadow Mario into Bianco Hills, and the game even pushes that fact when watching the intro sequence to this level. But for him not to be there anymore, with no explanation, makes the logic fall flat. Alright game, you made me do the exact same mission 3 times in a row. How do Piantas normally get across town? Because I can only do it with Flood. So you meet a guy who's hanging on top of a roof, and he will literally throw you for a coin. Now you may be thinking, what purpose does that have? If he throws you correctly, Mario will break through the window of a building, and you can collect a shine sprite that is hiding inside. If you don't like this mechanic, well, you're in for quite the treat later in the game. Once you beat the first black goop piranha, you unlock the boathouse. Now, once you go inside, you'll meet 2 raccoons, and get ready for this. In their possession, they have 24 shine sprites, and they will only give it to you for 10 blue coins a pop. So, for all you completionists out there, you have to collect a total of 240 blue coins in order to have collected every single shine sprite out there. It wanted me to be that specific. I can use the water to slide farther and faster. For spraying water into an open window of someone's apartment, you get a coin. Maybe we're sending the wrong message to children, people. There are birds that fly around the game. Green, blue, yellow, and red birds. If you drown a bird in water, it will turn into its respective coin, or even a shine sprite. Again, not a good life lesson. Did you know you don't even have to detach the tentacles before going after the snout? Game hack. Also, can I just point out that while Mario is being painted, pun intended, as the criminal who's ruining the ecosystem of Isle Delfino, these raccoons are harboring, pun intended, 24 shine sprites. Why aren't they being condemned? Never trust a raccoon. This guy carrying the realistic mushrooms on his back is on fire. He just runs around and expects someone to save him. And keep in mind that there is a huge body of water right next to him. At least you get a blue coin out of it. Mario is able to belly flop like this, but I'm going to see it as a positive since it is fun to do. Okay, so each world has 1 to 2 missions where you get sucked into some sort of different dimension. Once you're there, you have to go through an obstacle course and collect a shine sprite. Now, since this is a Mario game, I'll allow that logic. But my biggest gripe with that is that Shadow Mario shows up as you're being transported there and steals Flood away from you to make the course harder. I know the purpose is to challenge the player with these levels, but they don't make sense. First off, why can Shadow Mario just Ex Machina himself into any situation? He just appears seemingly out of nowhere whenever it's convenient. Second, it looks like Mario can't swim or free roam around this white vortex, so why can Shadow Mario move as he pleases? Third, if Shadow Mario can just steal Flood, why doesn't he just keep it? It's pretty obvious that Flood is the reason Mario can maneuver his way through the game, and I get that there won't be any game if he does, but he's clearly motivated to see Mario fail. It doesn't make any sense for him to just be like, oh, here we go, after collecting a shine sprite from the level. Okay, so this asshole has 2 shine sprites hostage, and he will give them to you if you break all of his boxes in a certain amount of time. Only then will a shine sprite emerge from the darkness and into your lap. People have some weird fetishes, man. Now let's get back into that sweet, sweet plot. Once you collect your first 10 shine sprites, an odd-looking boat will appear in the northwest part of Delfino Plaza. On the way there, you may have noticed that all of the toads are freaking out and or sad, and it is because Shadow Mario is kidnapping the princess. That's all good and dandy, but what about the tongue sequence? Why, game? Why would you show me that Shadow Mario can do that? I swam in this pool after this part of the game before, so how can you be hiding a huge robot Bowser in this little pool? I would think as director of the park, any show that is going to be going on should be approved by you beforehand. How can these rockets fit right into Flood's nozzle? Also, why are there rockets hovering all over this roller coaster ride? And now the moment you've all been waiting for, folks, the true identity of Shadow Mario, the main villain. Even though you've all been playing for the game for approximately an hour, it's time to reveal who he is, and it is Bowser Jr. What? Yes, this is the first time we ever get to meet Bowser Jr.
Mama Peach? I'm your mama?
I know that Peach is supposed to be acting confused in this scene, but it's coming off as if this is an episode of Black Mirror, and she's just like, oh, well, I guess I am your mama. It's revealed that Bowser tricked his son into thinking that Peach is his mother, who is being held captive by Mario. So of course, it makes sense for Bowser Jr. to want to rescue his mom and hate the guy that's been keeping her away.
This is my magic brush. When I draw with this, all my wishes come true. A strange old man in a white coat gave it to me.
A strange old man in a white coat.
Now this is the part of the game that has me confused the most. Both Flood and Bowser Jr.'s paintbrush were created by EGAD. I don't know if he was supposed to make an appearance in this game and cut for whatever reason, but they really should have kept him in, instead of making the game so up in the air and ambiguous, because sometimes mystery works, but it doesn't for this case. This is the most explanation we get from this. The game would have been so much better if it would have shown us all what really unfolded. According to MadPat's game theory, EGAD very directly gave Bowser Jr. the paintbrush, as he just stated, and left Flood on the airship for Mario to find. It could be the case that EGAD wanted to spread chaos and a solution for said chaos, but as I said before, the game doesn't go further into it.
Papa told me everything. He said, Mario's a bully, he never fights fair. He said, Junior, you gotta try to outsmart Mario.
I like Junior's impression of Bowser. By the way, how does the blue handkerchief work? Clearly that's how Bowser Jr. is able to shapeshift into Shadow Mario, but how? Is that also something EGAD created? No one points this out. Have you been enjoying the plot of the game so far? Good, because that's literally all that's left of the plot. Yes, you still have a whole game to play, but there's nothing more that they add to the story. Trust me, the next big thing that happens story-wise is the final boss battle. That's when we see Peach and Bowser Jr. again. Now wait a minute, where did the rest of the Mecha Bowser go? Bowser Jr. and Peach left on the head, but where's the body? A giant robot just doesn't disappear last time I checked. Unless you're the Iron Giant. And just what the hell is that gray land area over there? It's not in the game at all. If you try to swim over there, you'll eventually just get stopped by the limits of the game. Hey, it wasn't bright on this side of the plaza before. Points to the game for having some sign of progression. Ah, Pachinko Town, everyone's favorite level in this game. You have to collect 8 red coins in order to get the Shine Sprite, and man, you have no control over Mario once you jump off that trampoline. Did I mention there's nowhere you can refill your water here? So if you run out, you dug your own grave at that point. And that's actually where we're going to end today's video. Normally when I was thinking of making this show, I thought they were going to be each episode a different game, but as you can see, I'm still just getting started about everything I have to say about Super Mario Sunshine, so we're going to have to pick it up in the next episode. I'm not sure how many episodes there are going to be, but, you know, we'll just see as this little mini-series goes on. So I'll see you guys in episode 2 of The Logic of Super Mario Sunshine. Bye now.